What's the business, people? We're back in here again on a Sunday night. Just want to do a new live stream. Trying to see what y'all got going on this evening. We're going to tell you about our week, what we got planned, what we got going on in a couple days, and what our stream was like, from last week, what we did, what we got into. So come in and join us. Otherwise, just sit tight and listen. Hopefully you can catch us on the replay. It's the first one. Let's be about business today. Let's go. Got a list of stuff here I want to go over, right? Everything that, I do to get prepared for the next week. Also, some upcoming trends, things I see in the lawn care industry that might be able to help people who are just getting started. We also going to talk about a little bit about government contracting. So jump into the live stream, see what we got going on, and let's make it happen. Today, that's all what we about. We about leveling it up in 2024, making sure everybody gets the best that they can get out of every situation in their business. So, first thing we want to do, let's talk about last week. Last week kind of slow. Not gonna lie, we only cut about 2 to 3 yards last week. It was a little cold down here, still in South Louisiana. We had a little chill. Right now it's probably about 35 degrees outside, so that's a little abnormal for us. But again, this weather's so funny. It's about to start getting a little warmer. Actually starting tomorrow. We're supposed to hit a warming trend. It's supposed to be in the 80s next week, so let's get into it. Yep, we got some upcoming projects this week. About to crank it off. Tomorrow I got 3 yards scheduled to cut. One's a commercial property. Then I got a couple yards around the neighborhood that would take care of. And guys, if you're just getting started, that's the easiest way to get started. It's in your neighborhood. Go knock on your neighbor's door. See if they need their grass cut. Some of that stuff you might wind up doing for free, but hey, it's all good. We are out here to make money, and that's what it's all about. So we're going to have 30 minutes to talk about everything we can in lawn care. What are you guys using out there for quotes? What are you guys using? We got a quote we got to do this week too. Actually a pretty big one. We're going out and checking out 3 campuses and seeing if we can put in a bid proposal for that with the state. So yeah, we're gonna have to get us a crew together. Some pretty large projects. One of them is not too big, but again, when we're doing that, we want to make sure too that we incorporate all the stuff that's included. Like if you need new equipment, insurance, all that stuff needs to be included in the quote. Like I said, one of the properties is actually a little smaller compared to the other one. One's about 10 acres and the other 2 are right around 20 to 25. So, like I say, we're going to have to get us a crew. We're going to have to include that in the price of the quote. And what we're going to do, we're going to shoot a video on that too. And show you guys how we come up with our figures and get to what we need to do. It's going to include trimming and also blowing. They don't want us to take care of any of the, edging in the blowing. They don't want us to do any trimming of trees or bushes or anything like that. I'm assuming they got somebody else to kind of get that taken care of. But it's a year contract. The proposal has to be in by March 1st. So got a little work to do. And that's one of the things you want to make sure you do is get ahead of the game, do your pre-work. Right now we're using yard book, right? A lot of people use that to schedule some stuff out, also to get idea of what the property is looking like before we get out there and get going. So if you guys have any questions about how you want to measure your properties, the basic thing you want to do is make sure you get your time, right? We all should have some kind of idea of what time we were going to be putting into these properties, right? And how much we want to make per hour. That's the biggest thing. So, my suggestion, even when you're starting out, your time is important. So guess what? We want to include everything that we can as far as an hourly rate. Some people may think it's a little outrageous, but we're doing business with the federal government and with the state. So we want to make sure we're getting paid what we're supposed to get paid. The wear and tear on your equipment, the new equipment. They also want us to do the fertilization and things like that. So you're going to have to include the cost of fertilization in your quote. So we want to be right around between anywhere from between $125 an hour to $150 an hour. And that should get everything taken care of and leave us with a little bit of profit, allow us to also be able to pay our employees and take care of them, help them make a good living. One of my things is you always want to go get employees who have some skin in the game. The easiest way you can find somebody with skin in the game is find somebody who's starting their lawn care business, right? They're just starting off. So they're going to need help and assistance on how getting it done. Matter of fact, that's how I got started. I actually had to go back and get with a guy that I used to work with AT&T, and he started his lawn care business before I did. He's a little younger than I am, so he was already in the process. And just so luck to have it, I ran into him during the pandemic and winded up getting his number again, you know, checking him out, and that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years. So again, we're going to crank it off probably about March 1st. That's usually when we crank it off, right before the time changes, get out there and get some yards knocked out. And then it's on from there. Matter of fact, he's probably going to be working with me also when we get ready to do some of these bigger campuses and stuff. Because guess what? We got to speak it into existence, y'all. So that's one thing I need to tell you too. In your business, man, you got to speak that stuff into existence. You got to believe it's going to happen and make it happen, right? Those are the things that, you know, people don't realize. That you got to get out there and make it happen on your own, man. You can't depend on nobody else. And then you got to speak it into existence. Believe in yourself. You got a vision. You got a dream. It's a reason why you're thinking what you're thinking. It's a reason why people are coming into your life that you need at a certain time. But you got to get out there and do it, man. You can't just sit back and expect the things to come to you, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at for this next week. Doing those commercial quotes, getting those few yards knocked out. I got a new client I got to take care of tomorrow evening, one that I actually got off of Facebook. So look at that. You know, you got to advertise yourself. Got one off of Facebook and also got another one off of YouTube. So again, just get out there and do it, y'all. And I want to encourage you to get your set you up a YouTube channel. You know, if you're into lawn care, set yourself up a YouTube channel, man, and get it done. It'll help you with the consistency. It's gonna help you learn your craft, and that's the biggest thing that I can tell anybody. Learn as much as you can. That's why you need a mentor, right? A mentor that's out there getting it done themselves. Maybe need a little help. You be the mentee. Now, guess what? I can turn around and be the mentor to somebody else who may want to get involved, who may want to do it. So again, stay focused and let's move on to the next thing, right? What about new equipment? What's out there? What kind of zero turns we looking at in 2024? Y'all tell me. Go into the comments. Let me know what kind of zero turns we looking at this year. What kind of new weed eaters and blowers? Who's the new hot kid on the block? Are we going to be going electric this year? Are we going to still stick to the old-fashioned gas? Well, you know what? That's one of my goals, hopefully here shortly, is that we move over to all electric once I feel like we can afford it and we can get it done in our business, right? New guys out there, that is the biggest way to put yourself in a bind and put yourself in a hole, is to get out there and spend too much money on equipment that you do not need. If you got a chance, go back and check out the videos that I did on when you're setting up your lawn care business and how to go about doing that, so you're not out there spending too much money, especially with all the new equipment that's coming out here fairly soon. It's the easiest way to get yourself in a bind, and that's going to cost you your business in the long run. We also want to talk about, hey, what are we doing as far as our business? Is our business legit? You know, do we have a tax ID, right? Do we have a business banking account? Do we have a relationship with a banker? Now, we're talking about getting into some large properties, right? So what goes up with those large properties is going to be the insurance. You're going to be looking at $1 million insurance policies on some of this stuff, some of the projects that you're doing. So you want to make sure you got those relationships established with a bonding agent, somebody like that, who can help you out, navigate you through those little situations, right? So we got the banker, well, we got the bonding agent, insurance agent. We need an accountant, right? Right? I know, you're gung ho to get out there and get going, but we gotta slow down sometimes a little bit and make sure that we got a strong foundation in our business. When I mean a strong foundation, that's those relationships. We need an accountant, right? It's just the beginning of the year. You'll be looking up, and it'll be July, because I'm telling you right now, come about mid-March, come April, you're not going to be able to get out there and get those relationships established. You're going to be doing too much business. Again, we got to just speak it into existence, people. That's what we got to do. Believe in yourself, speak it into existence. So we're going to be doing too much business to be worrying about trying to establish relationships and get the higher end clients, which is the federal government. That's where we want to be at. See a lot of guys out there talking about, oh, he made $200,000 in a year on his own cutting grass. Yeah, whatever. That's my attitude towards it, because I've done it. I've seen the amount of work and energy it takes for one person to do that much work in a day. Now, unless you just lucked up into a special situation, you lucked up to a HOA or somebody like that, or one commercial property that's that you're probably ripping off, something like that, I can see it happening. But all the other stuff is capped. Don't believe it. Don't believe the hype. It's not real. The easiest way to level up your lawn care game is to get involved with the federal government, state and local government. Again, we got information on the channel on that too. The other relationship we want to be having, and we got to have us a lawyer, right? A lawyer is going to help us when those contracts start coming in, to make sure we don't get screwed over, and of course we don't mess over anybody else too. A lot of these contracts, you look at them and there's language in the contracts that you may not understand, may not be familiar with. So that's why you're going to have yourself a lawyer, attorney, who can read through all that jargon and make sure that you're getting what you're supposed to be getting. There'll be language that's left out that should be in it. One of the things we got to remember, that most of these contracts are going to be net 30 too. So what that means is that it's going to take at least 30 days for you to get paid. That's when they're supposed to get it out. Sometimes they'll get it out before then. It just depends on the situation and who you're dealing with, and what the contract is, right? The other thing we want to do, we already talked about having a mentor. We also want to talk about having your business organized, right? When I mean organized, I mean where you don't have to be looking for stuff. So say you're out there and you want to be in lawn care and landscape, and educate yourself. If necessary, get your horticulturist license, which I'm currently working on, pesticide license that allow you to spray commercial chemicals and things like that, fertilizer, things like that. That's what's required here in Louisiana. So of course you want to check, your local state horticulture's office or agriculture's office, whatever they have available, and see if you're needing to take a test or get licensed, because that's going to make a big difference in your business too. And you also want to be focusing on your certifications that you may need. And when I say certifications, that's the certifications for doing business with the federal government, whether it's, small business association, the SBA, whether it's registering with sam.gov, whether it's doing any of those things like that. Here we have what they call the Hudson Initiative. We have 8A certifications. We have DBE certifications. We got ACDBE certifications. So it just depends on what you want to get into and how deep you want to dive into it. But what makes a difference is some of these contracts, That's who the money is for, right? The money is specifically set aside for these particular businesses, whether you're a minority business, whether you're a veteran-owned business. And I know, if you're in an economic disadvantage situation, depending on where your business is located, not where you live, but where your business is located, you may even be eligible for some things that you don't even think that you're eligible for. So, again, get out there and do your research. Got plenty of information on YouTube, on our channel. So we're all about helping everybody else level up. And that's what we're going to do. So every Sunday night, if you're sitting there and you subscribe to the channel, you're going to get a notification that we done went live and telling you about some more good information to help you level up your lawn care business. What kind of tech do they got going on right now? I don't know. I don't know what they got on the internet nowadays. What kind of modes are we using, right? Let's check out Yardbook. Yardbook is probably going to be your go-to when you're getting ready to, get out there and get going. It's a free service through Google, I believe, is who's offering it. I guess I ought to know that, but hey, I'm using it. It's free, and it's probably a lot better than any paid service that you can get out there. But let's Google search right now. Let's Google search some lawn care trends. See what we come up with. But yeah, this is usually what I do every Sunday night anyway, right? I try to get ready and prepare for the next week. Make sure that, I feel like I'm in a good space and place with everything we got to cover. That's right. You need to write it down too. I do also have a flower bed mulch I got to do this week sometime. Also working on doing a little bit of sod, laying some sod for somebody. So those are projects that we want to take care of fairly soon before it gets too hot and too busy. In South Louisiana, man, that heat killing me, man. I'm telling you, if it get hot down here, I don't know where you're located. Matter of fact, drop that in the chat too. Go ahead and let us know where you're located at, where you're working, and if there's anything I can do to help you. If you got any kind of questions, make sure you drop those too in the comments so we can get those going. If you don't feel like putting it in the chat on YouTube, you need to go to my website, or you can just look up my email address on YouTube, and I'll be the first person to try to help you. Like I say, I'm worrying about everybody else leveling up. I want to see people come along with me. I don't want to do this on my own. That's the worst way, right? I see a lot of these guys out here that they're over competitive, man. There's too much grass out here to cut for me to not want to help people, right? You see those guys that are real humbuggish. They don't want to talk to you, don't speak, because they see you with a trailer and everything. Man, cut it out. Dude, grow up. That's what you need to do. That's kid stuff, right? We grown adults. We out here grown men and women handling our business. So we want to make sure that we support each other out here in this game, right? We're all in it together, it's rough, it's hard, but the ones that are stingy with the yards, the ones that come in there and underbid you on the yard and, tell your clients bad stuff about you, don't never do that. Never badmouth another lawn care guy unless they are truly garbage. If they're garbage, they're garbage. It just is what it is. If they're not giving quality work and your customer or your client makes the comment, the last guy I had, he was just no good. Yeah, that's the type of person that you can talk about, But otherwise, we want to keep other lawn care guys' names out of our mouth, man. We're here to support each other, lift each other up. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Don't be underbidding nobody, because you're killing the market, man. You didn't come back, I'm charging $50, you come back charging $45, man, you're killing the market. Because guess what? It's going to be somebody that come out and bid 40 on you. So get your stuff together, man. Make sure you're out here supporting every lawn care guy. You ought to know the struggle. But let's get back to looking up to these trends. Now we're gonna do is just Google them, right? Hit them with the Google and just type in lawn care trends and see what comes up. Lawn care trends, it's software, natural lawn care products. How many of you guys are into that? Are you guys, any of you guys into natural lawn care products, being safe for the environment? I am. But you know, especially when you get out there and fertilize some grass, you want to probably do it the easiest possible way. But end of the day, we got to use what we got access to, right? Whether it's Home Depot or anybody like that, but get yourself a good quality fertilizer. Do your research. There's a lot of information on YouTube also about fertilizers. That's one thing you're gonna have to have in your business. Again, this is more than just cutting grass. You got to have a love for it, what you're doing, and you got to know the products that you're using. Not to get too deep into it right now, but if you buy a fertilizer, one of the things you want to do is go to the actual fertilizer's website and see manufacturer's website and see, if you can get the safety data sheet on it. You want to have that with you and carry it around with you like it's law, because it is. Some of this stuff that you get out there and get to purchasing can really mess up your client's yard if you're not careful. Whether you're watering it before like you should, or if you're not watering it after like you should. Whether it be any kind of pesticide or something like that, it rains the next day, guess what? That stuff's no good. If you're using any kind of weed killer and it rains the same day, that stuff is done. So do your research, make sure you have that information on you. For what? For safety issues also. We got people that we're responsible for out there that's going to be doing all this work for us, with us, and if something goes down, they're going to hold you responsible for it. So make sure you're doing that. See what they got. Have yourself a tablet, to save all this information on you. If something happens to one of the guys out there on the field and you guys have to, seek any kind of emergency assistance, medical assistance rather, then you have to make sure you got that information ready and available. Medics, whoever, they're going to want to see that stuff to know how they should treat it and how they should move forward with the particular individual that they're dealing with. So, again, keep that in mind. The 5 hottest lawn care trends for 2024. What are they? Going green. We're just talking about that, right? Yeah, going green is an option for us this year. Again, that equipment is fairly expensive, man, and from what I understand, that a lot of it is pretty equivalent to your mower. You got to consider in a mower, you're going to be spending money on what? Gas, right? Also, we know the effects that has on the environment and things like that too. So make sure that you, again, don't get yourself in a bind, because you can spend a whole lot of money on the electrical equipment. You're probably looking at, I would say, at least 30 to 40% more money invested into initial investment anyway, invested into a electric zero turn or anything that's electric. You're looking at probably anywhere, I'd say, 30 to 40% increase in price, depending on your area. Some of the weeders and blowers and stuff like that, they may be 20 to 30. So do your research, but that does seem like it's going to be one of the trends coming up here shortly. Drought tolerant landscaping. Man, I can tell you, last year in Louisiana we didn't see hardly any rain the way we normally do. So that's a change. Hopefully this year we can get back into that pattern we're used to having, rain every day, probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock, it usually rains, comes down real quick, just enough to wet the yard and get us back in business in the next couple of days. So um, we want to make sure that we get some rain down here this year. But one of the trends they have going on now is having drought resistant uh, landscaping. When they're saying drought resistant, they're really talking about the tolerance of the plants that you're going to be using, things like that. That something that may hold moisture a little bit longer than others. Again, get to your local nursery, do your research, ask those questions. It's going to be a trend this year. So if you want to be in line to get your customers taken care of, you're going to have to know what you're talking about. And that's one of the trends is drought resistant. They're probably going to approach you about that. Water conscious irrigation alternatives. Yeah, we really don't do a whole lot of that here, to be honest with you. It's something we may get into, down the road, but I think we got enough on our plate right now. So my suggestion, if you're looking, unless you're a guy that's already out there doing something like that, drought, irrigation, I would probably subcontract that out to somebody I knew in the industry. Again, we all about establishing relationships. We want to see everybody win, even the guy that just does irrigation. So check on him, see if he can maybe assist you if you got some clients out there that may want to get into that type of stuff. And they're talking, rainwater collection systems, stuff like that. But if we're in a drought, you're probably not going to see that either. So we want to have that as an option for our clients, though. So it would be good to know somebody who does do that. And technology to streamline your operation, man. Lawn care software, right? Like Yardbook. That's there to streamline your operation, man. Get more familiar with it. Matter of fact, you should probably go down and download it now if you're not using it. A lot of guys in the industry are using that, so we want to make sure we use it too. Also, they'll have to-do lists for your crew members. It kind of makes things pretty easy for you. You can kind of sit back and let it run itself once you got everything logged in and created. Ooh, commercial robot lawnmowers. Ooh, yeah, that's a new trend too. I've seen that myself, where they have now that you can go get mowers that actually self-drive themselves. Yeah, that's some weird stuff, right? Um, but it works. It works. You don't have to worry about damaging the customer's property or anything like that. But especially if you like have open fields that you're cutting or big lots that you're cutting, it'll save you a lot of time and energy. Save you a lot of time and energy. But again, we got to look at that cost. So it costs to be the boss is the case when it comes to this electric stuff. I'm telling you. Ooh, personalization. That's something that I love. You got to separate yourself from the rest of the people out there that's doing this too. Not even with a dollar amount. Again, that's why I tell you it's crazy to get out here and just underbid guys that you're seeing. If you're confident in what you're doing and the quality of the work that you're handing out, then man, this isn't going to be no problem to you. It's not going to be no problem to you at all. You ought to be able to be personable with your customers and your clients. Let them know the knowledge that you have. Have a solution for them, specifically for them. You know what you can pose to a customer? Say they got a flower bed that's growing up with weeds and looking horrible, right? One of the things that you can do, if they're kind of hesitant on the price, ask them, hey, what else would you do? What else would you do? I mean, sometimes problems solve themselves. You just got to be there to be the solution. If they decide they're not going to go with you, they're going to go with the next guy, right? Because he came in and underbid you, right? ask them, okay, are you worried about the end result, or are you just worried about getting it done? Because I can guarantee you, if we do it, we're not going to have to come back here. You're not going to have to call us and say that you're dissatisfied with the service. Have confidence in what you're doing, right? Knowledge is key, right? That's why I say those certifications are so important, making sure that you're qualified to do the work that you say you can do. So personalization is going to be another trend for 2024. Cross-selling and upselling. Like, I know you guys don't know, but I used to be in sales, right? I used to work for AT&T, was store manager. Had pretty good success there doing that type of stuff, right? Selling stuff to people, selling anything. I think I'm a decent salesperson. So, you know, all of us probably should be, to the extent that every day we're out there selling ourselves, right? Whether it's with our family, friends, or whatever. People wouldn't hang around you. They wouldn't want to spend time with you if you weren't selling yourself on the fact that, hey, you're a good person to be around. You know, you're a helpful person. You're a person that wants to see everybody succeed. You know, so people that you see out there have no friends. They're, you know, in the house all day locked up. Hey, that's on them. That's not us though. You know, so again, sell yourself. Sell yourself every day to separate yourself from the competition. What else we got here? Yeah, some of us, you know, if you got a pressure washer too, now's the time to get that running too. So there's so many ways you can make money doing this in your lawn care and landscaping business. But again, pressure washing is not for the faint of heart, right? That's a lot of hard work. I would almost say it's a little bit harder than actually cutting grass, you know, as far as taxing on your body, you know, because you're moving all the time. You're not sitting down on a mow for sure. So, you know what you're doing. And then on top of that, you can damage somebody else's property. You can damage somebody else's property. So that's where the insurance falls in the line, and also knowing what you're doing. Don't want to be out there just willy-nilly, you know, slinging rocks or using too much pressure on a customer's house, fence, any of that kind of stuff. Again, make sure you know what you're doing. Matter of fact, we might put out a video on pressure washing on our channel for lawn care, just to give you guys a little bit of background of what all is included in that too. So we don't have nobody out there, nobody that's following us messing up people's houses, right? Fences, you know. So again, driveways, all that stuff. The yard that you gotta cut. Don't want to be bleaching nobody's yard, killing the grass, right? So again, make sure you know what you're doing. Same day automatic payments. I guess that's gonna be another, you know, trend. Guys, payments, payments, payments. I tell you right now, you're gonna be chasing down customers left and right unless you have a system. Contracts are cool, especially for your commercial clients. That's almost gonna be mandatory. But for your regular clients, you don't want to necessarily have them on contract, right? You can. I'm not too keen on it. We want to try to focus on customers that allow us to come weekly, but slow money is better than no money. And that's what I can tell you. So if they want to go bi-weekly, let them go bi-weekly. Try to work it out in your schedule or however that goes. But, you know, we do prefer to cut weekly. It's a little less taxing on us, the equipment and everything else. High quality value services, number 5. High quality. High quality. One of the ways that I've gotten a lot of customers is through quality. And when I say quality, I'm talking about, you'd be surprised how many guys you'll see out there that'll cut grass and blow the grass out in the street. But why are you doing that? That's gonna just get into the drainage systems. Now we got to worry about flooding and all that kind of stuff. You done clogged up the drainage systems. Don't blow grass in the street. That's like one of my number one pet peeves with cutting grass, is when I see somebody that does that. You know, it really does burn me up. I was riding down the street the other day, guys doing the leaf cleanup. I'm assuming, yeah, he's cleaning up the yard all right, blowing it all in the street. Now the streets all dirty. Where do you think that stuff's gonna go, man? And 9 times out of 10 it's gonna wind up right back in the yard or in somebody's drainage system. So let's be smart about what we're doing. Let's look like we're giving high quality, even if we don't know what we're doing. And that's one of the easiest ways to do that, is to make sure you don't blow the grass or leaves in the street, man. That ain't cool. That's not how we do business. So, you know, one of the ways that I was able to get a lot of clients was making sure that when I started, I push mowed the front yards and I bagged them. Right? It took me a little bit more time, but it helped me gain more clients. And, you know, I've had customers ask me, you know, do you spend this much time the first time I cut the yard? No, I don't. I said, I got to get the yard trained. I also like to leave it, you know, with a good presentation on that first come through, that first cut. Because if you bag it that first cut that you've gotten a hold of it, guess what? If you're coming on a weekly basis, that the need to, you know, bag the front yard is not going to be there anymore, unless you're just in a situation where, you know, the grass grows super fast. You know, you may have to do that again and again just to get the yard in order. But yeah, bag the grass, man. Don't. That'll separate you from a lot of guys. A lot of guys just want to get out there and cut grass and move on. That's not what we about. So, you know, I don't know if you're out there and you're starting, you do want to have yourself a website, you want to be involved in social media, like that's providing, you know, high quality service. Customers got to be able to find you and locate you. Google My Business, things like that. Those are things that we all want to be involved in, and to help us be successful from the start. And like I say, I highly encourage everybody to start their own YouTube channel, you know. And if you don't have a YouTube channel, you can subscribe to the channel. That'll help you. You can find other guys out there who've been doing it for a lot longer than me, that I've gotten a lot of advice from and picked up things from on YouTube. Subscribe to their channel. You know, get your list of guys that you feel comfortable, that they know what they're talking about and knowledgeable in the industry, and follow them. Right? These guys been doing it for a long time. You know, they know their business. I would drop a few names, but hey, I'm not going to do that because I hadn't reached out to them and spoke to them to tell them that's what I wanted to do. So, you know, that's another thing. You just don't want to be name dropping people on your YouTube channel that you haven't communicated with, and let them know, hey man, I'm about to drop your name in one of my videos. They may not want you to do that. They may be in a good space and place where they don't need that in their life no more. So again, check with them before you do that type of stuff, but at least go out and follow them. Find somebody that you know, can make a move for you in the lawn care industry and help your business out. And the one thing they do say on here is to get ahead of the latest trends. You know, we gotta, the lawn care industry is not necessarily finicky, right? It's not. You gotta have a love for what you're doing. You gotta, you know, have a passion for it. You can't just get out there and say, hey, I see a guy cutting grass, I can cut grass too. No, that's not how that works either. You gotta make sure that you're ready for all the hard work that you're gonna have to put in, especially when you're first getting started. People don't understand the amount of time and energy that you have to put into doing lawn care. Lawn care is not an easy thing to do. They figure, oh, I just go get a mower and run across some people's grass. No, you can injure yourself, mess up somebody's yard, and put yourself in a hole from the start. So it's important that you make sure that this is something that you want to do, right? You know, it's just not because you're seeing it and it looks good. You think you're going to go out there and make a lot of money. Because when you first start, no, you're not. And the reason why is because you have to invest in good quality equipment too. Don't buy the cheapest And don't buy the most expensive. Find you something that fits your budget. Hopefully you've been planning on doing this, so you've saved up a little bit of money to get everything that you need to get started. So in your first year or so, it's going to be fairly difficult for you to see a return on your investment. If you can get that minimum, you know, you'll be doing good. So if you're expecting to make a profit, nah, don't get discouraged either. That's just the name of the game. That's the way it goes, people. It's the name of the game. That's the way it goes. So again, make sure you're ready to get into this lawn care business. Now, before we get out of here this evening, we want to talk about how you can kind of accelerate that plan. You can accelerate that plan by what? Doing business with the federal government. Right now here in Louisiana, they're going to have a couple of events, one coming up on March the 1st, to where, if you signed up for these special certifications, these membership programs that are all free, right? They're all free. You don't have to pay anything for them. You get to sit down with some of the big dogs, right? Some of the big dog suppliers in your area. Do your research on small business administration in your area and the things that they're able to do. So because of that, we're going to have the opportunity, Bouquet of Baton Rouge is going to have the opportunity to sit down with people like Amazon, City of Baton Rouge, and we're going to have 15 minutes to give them the best of what we can give them to see if, they may be interested in doing business with us. Be prepared, but this type of stuff is a long time coming. I went to my first meeting last year, probably in June. And from that day forward, I've been trying to grind to make sure this year I'm in the right space and place to be, eligible to help these people, provide them with a solution of grass cutting. So, again, our local energy company here, DOTD, a lot of different people that you can reach out to, and they all got this set up for you, and you get your face in front of somebody, again, sell yourself, and you never know what can happen. Of course, we're going to track everything and let you guys know how everything goes. We also have, another meet and greet, vendor fair, to where, they're going to have some people, selling their business, doing the little Shark Tank thing, I believe, kind of doing that type of stuff, and pitching their business to whoever's out there wanting their services, right? And again, it's going to be high-end clientele. We're talking about the federal government, state and local government, and, everybody knows Amazon, right? Man, there's just so much information out there in so many different ways. People figure just because you're in the lawn care industry that you can't sell Amazon personal cleaning supplies or hygiene supplies, any of that kind of stuff that Amazon's looking for. PPE, personal protective equipment. Yeah, they have that all offered through Amazon. Guess what? You may be able to sign up with somebody like Uline. Right? Buy it from Uline, have it sent directly to Amazon or whoever through the federal government. Right? So, again, we got to be a little bit more creative. Don't put yourself in a box, but then don't put yourself in a bind. Don't spread yourself too thin either. That's important. But those type of things can help supplement your business and generate some more revenue. So, again, we about to go ahead and check it out tonight. And it kept y'all for 45 minutes. Thank you for all those that tuned in to the live stream. It's Mr. Bouquet, and we out.